Hey, folks. Michael Noland here. Welcome to the bottom line. This is Tribal Forum number 75. I had a big deal planned for you for the 75th. Kind of an important stream, isn't it? But that all went to shit faster than anything. Um, I don't really have a device that I can rely on tonight for my notes and everything. Articles that I had set for you, but I'm going to give you what I think in regard to tonight's subject. The subject is rockers who just don't have it anymore. An inconvenient piece of shit truth. I wish I had made the title of this a lot more provocative. All right. So first of all, why am I so pissed off? Well, I got to sleep at about 5:30 this morning, and all my beauty sleep went to hell in a handbasket. So that wasn't fun. Uh, so you get me in the mood, and then I looked at everything that I had planned for tonight, and all I can say is somebody please call the old folks home, or at least somebody please call the Las Vegas Sphere. The Las Vegas Sphere is nothing but an old person's home for old rockers, old geezers who can't get their shit together and tour anymore. They've lost it. They've lost it. Las Vegas has lost it. They're losing money hand and foot. What is it? I am so pissed off. What is it about some Beatle fans? Now I'm a big Beatle fan. I go back with the Beatles first generation. Bought every single one of their albums, bought every single one of John Lennon's albums, bought every single one of Paul McCartney's albums, bought the better albums by George Harrison, and even bought one Ringo album. But that's it. That's it for me. Um, as a consumer, I put out like I said, I came very close to just canceling the stream tonight. Very close. And I can't keep doing that and expect to get any kind of audience. And so I'm up here, and you got me warts and all tonight. By the way, troll alert, I will not be fucking around with any trolls. If you see any trolls out there, shut them down. Let me know immediately. Kimberly, let me know.
I will. Oh, yeah.
Because we'll report them directly to YouTube, and maybe we'll get their fucking channel shut down. How does that sound?
Mm-hmm.
You
That's
fucking Nimrods. Oh, Jesus Christ. Um, one of them were on another stream that actually that stream does nothing but encourage this kind of shit, and was complaining his channel was shut down because Brian from Tokyo uh, didn't exactly appreciate him taking a portion out of his stream and making fun of him. And the asshole had the audacity. And brother, if you're out there and you think you're going to pull any shit here tonight, you better watch out. I'll get your new channel shut down. Asshole. Had the audacity to come up and say, "Oh, can we?" I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. So all these dicks, this guy and the main dick, always say that they're a parody channel. Let me give you a lesson in fucking parody, assholes. Mad Magazine was a parody. Did you know that Mad Magazine made fun of everybody? But it was always out of a sense of them being a fan of what they were making fun of. When you attack people, when you dox people, try it with me. Just fucking try it. And then call that a parody? You are, well, a certain member of that panel who I don't have a lot of fucking respect for these days called you a punk, and I'd have to agree with him. You're nothing but a punk. Okay? So watch for that. Um, and I am sorry that I am coming off the way I am tonight, folks. You guys deserve better, but it just robbed me of my sleep. And then, start your shenanigans on YouTube, and, there I am. There I am. A lot of you are being unsubscribed. I, my YouTube analytics tell me exactly what's going on. It's YouTube that's unsubscribing you. I can't control that. You're going to have to check and see if you're still subscribed to the channel. And while you're at it, check to see if your notifications haven't been turned off, because they're doing a lot of that too. All right. So I do have some shout outs here from some of you fine folks who gave the channel some super thanks on our last stream, and I am very thankful. For those of you who are still with me, and if you, those of you who didn't like my intro, tough shit. I don't care. How's that sound? But for those of you who have been supporting this channel, I love you guys. I really do. There's a lot of love in my heart. But there's this small blackness inside of me that says, enough is fucking enough. Don't you fuck with me anymore. And it's to those cretins that I address this stream. It's all dedicated to you, baby. Morons. But here's some fine folks. All right? These people are supporting this channel at its worst time in its fucking history, and I appreciate you so much. Joseph Blue gave us a $2 super thanks. We call that swinging the deuce hammer. John C. came in with a $5 super thanks. 45 RPM came in with a $5 super thanks. Agent Pepsi One, the divine Agent Pepsi One. By the way, any smart ass comments about any of our female tribal members, I keep my mouth shut. Don't do it. Don't you fucking do it. Came in with a $5 super thanks. Thank you, Agent. I appreciate that. The Four Horsemen, my good friend Royce, who will be on after here. I'm going to try and get up on there and get myself into some sort of good mood and get up there. I'm going to try. I may shut down a little bit early tonight so that I can get over to Royce's. He's going to try and bring up what's happening for me, why I haven't been over there. God, it's been a month, going on a second month, well into a second month now, because we've had trouble getting me up. My picture goes this way, right? And so it's hard for me to get up there. But he's my good buddy. Royce and I've been talking today. I know he's no happier than I am, only he's much more of a gentleman than I am. I never claimed to be a gentleman. I'm your fucking nightmare.
Oh, hi, Michael Boswell.
Michael, thank you so much. I saw your comment on Michael's still trying.
Oh, thank you, Michael.
Can you read that for me, babe? Because I don't have anything.
He says, he ain't heavy, he's my brother.
He ain't heavy, he's my brother.
Yeah. I love that.
And Michael, I saw your comment regarding Michael's still trying to turn me on to AI music. Ugh. Michael, that's going to be a tough sell. But I'm going to look up your stuff. And I'll check into it. I'm an old dog, but I can learn a new trick or two. I'm not a fan, as many of you know.
Jersey Devil just came.
Oh, Jersey, thank you so much. I see a $2, but I can't see. See, you guys come up on my screen. I can't read that. Usually, I have an iPad, but we told you Kimberly's iPad is haunted. But it couldn't be because it's dead now.
Yeah.
So now it's haunted. But this is my screen that I'm working with tonight, folks.
Hun Jersey Devil says, preach Warhorse. To hell with the dumbass people.
Damn right. I'm going to keep Warhorse.
I like that, Jersey Devil.
To hell with the War Stallion. I ain't good looking enough for a War Stallion. I'm just the man to fit into Warhorse. Is that his comment, baby?
Yes.
Okay, repeat that for me, and everybody listen because I'm not going to be able. I see another one, so read both of
Yes,
these.
he says, preach warhorse to hell with the dumbass people. Wow, woohoo! The four horsemen came in with us. Oh, thank you so
Thank you, Royce,
much, Royce.
my man.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, I was just bringing you up, and you come in with another super thanks. Did he say anything, baby?
He says, go get him, brother.
I told you Royce wasn't happy.
Yep.
Royce is just a better spoken man. I get pissed off, and every foul word comes to my head, and it just comes out, and I'm sorry for that, especially for you ladies. Anyway, Royce, thank you so much for that. And oh, we've got another one in. Oh, who's this now? I
Oh,
can't see. Rockin'. Rockin's in.
Rockets in.
$2.
Oh,
Thank you, Rockin' Robin. Did she say anything?
my goodness, how come I didn't see it? Oh, there it is. Rockin' Robin Bird came in.
What did she say?
She didn't say
She,
anything. She
she
said,
just swung the deuce hammer?
that's
Was
right.
that a deuce hammer?
Oh,
We call it deuce hammer because a lot of folks see we have people who can give bigger super things, and we have people who can't afford that. I understand that. Believe me, I can understand that, and but they want to support the channel. Truly, even these people who give bigger super things could tell you this. They give those because they're able, but they don't see themselves as, hey, I really support the channel. That's not what the tribe is about. They give what they can. It's keeping the channel alive. Maybe on Wednesday I'll discuss more of this because we only got Sunday on why this is so important.
oh.
Maybe it's time to really just dig deep into this.
Michael Boswell said, have Michael search 7 of 9 music AI.
7 of 9. Yeah, that's the one I saw your comment, Michael. 7 of 9. I saw that. 7 of 9. I'm a Trekkie, so it stuck to me, and I will check it out, Michael. You deserve
Oh,
that.
Stormcopter
Um,
came in with a super thanks
hey,
again.
James, my oldest. You know, this whole super thanks thing. If it belongs to any one human being, it's James, and he was doing it. Good God, maybe 2 years before I started streaming, right? And he's always financially supported the channel. I started a, a, a Patreon, and he was there. Now my Patreon channel, I still have a link to it. It's gone fallow. I still intend to use that, but he's still there. You know, a lot of you are still there because you're supporting on what the channel's trying to do. And then when I opened up memberships, by the way, I didn't explain this. When you go into the membership,
Oh,
there's a couple of tiers here. My
Deuce's Bottle
goodness.
just came in with a
Deuce,
super
thank you so much.
thing.
$20. See
Oh
what I
my
mean?
goodness.
So sometimes we get the larger donations. Hell, we've gotten 50 and even at one point, I think 100 a couple of times.
Do you want me
You
to
know,
read Deuce's?
yes, would you?
Deuce says, these senile delinquent musicians surely need to call it off. Just a desperate money grab.
Oh, we're going to talk about
Some
that
more
tonight.
desperate than others. I love you guys, my tribal chief and chiefess. Hold strong. These things will pass. All prayers. Oh, dude,
Thank
you're
you.
so
Thank you,
wonderful.
Deuce. I could use a few
Oh,
prayers today. Um, Yeah. By the way, the reason I got to bed at 5:30 in the morning, my fu, that's, no, that the fu goes to you trolls out there. My nephew, I should say, took ill. He's been having some trouble swallowing, a lot of stuff regurgitating. I'm an old psych nurse. I told him when I took him to the hospital, uh, first of all, he just left us a note. You know, he's 19, still living at home. He's 19. Well, he'll be 19 coming in uh, uh, just December, right? 2 days before Christmas. And I have two nephews who are identical twins. They don't look like much to with each other right now. They're all going through "I am me" kind of phase. And he just left us a message. You know, we don't. We've got certain rules in the house. All right, here's what we expect of you guys to still continue to be here as adults, right? Other than that, as long as they're behaving themselves, I don't monitor their language like I used to or anything. They're young men now, right? And Isaiah is his name. Uh, uh, took it on like a young man. He got a ride from a friend, and then doing the responsible thing, he called us and said, "I'm on my way to the hospital." Or actually, and we thought he meant he was going down to the bus stop to go to the hospital, and we both went, "No, that can't happen." So I, you know, jumped into the truck to find him. He wasn't down at the bus stop. Called my wife. She said, "No, he's at the other bus stop." So I go to the other bus stop. He's not there. And then by the time on my way to the other bus stop, of course, I found out he wasn't there. Kimberly called me back and said,
Yes.
"No, he got a friend to take him." I said, "Well, then what the hell am I doing out here?" So then we kept in close contact with him. And being a young man, he wound up at the wrong hospital that did not have an emergency room. See, and this is why I wish he had told us before he had left, because I would have taken him to the right spot and got him all set up. But it's good. These kind of things. I remember making these same kinds of mistakes when I was 18. And when I was 18, I was on my own. I was down in LA setting up uh, ticket selling offices for a circus and making more money than a doctor did, by the way, back in those days. I had to quit that job because I started hearing telephones ring in my head, in my dreams, right? But the money was great. And so I made many mistakes like this. So I had to go back out, and I picked him up where he was, and I took him to an emergency room that could better accommodate his needs. And I knew he was going to be there, so I made sure he was all set. And I said, "I'm going to drive home." Now you got to understand, we live kind of out in the country. We live, we're about, I don't know, 3/4 of a mile outside of city limits. So is that really country? Except for here in the Big Valley of California, uh, you can leave some of the Big Valley towns, and 1 minute after you're out, you've got orchards, you've got cherry blossom, I mean, this is the largest single agricultural spot on planet Earth, right? And so we're about 3/4 of a mile, I guess, outside of city limits. And so uh, to get to the emergency room, the fastest way there is to take back roads, right? And so I told him, I said, "Okay, I'm going to go back home." And I went back home, and uh, God, that by the time that happened, that had to be about 11:30 by the time I got back home. But of course, he was being seen, and so we were on the phone with him all night, giving him advice. I told him I thought that they would probably diagnose him with a GERD, GERD, for those who are not familiar with that. Happens to a lot of people. I treated a lot of people. One of my favorite patients of all times, and you're not going to believe his name. His name was honestly John Paul Jones, right? And after the uh, hospital that I worked at was one massive hospital, but it was made up of what we called separate units. Now, each unit would have up to 50 patients in it. It was a dedicated building all unto its own. So if you go to another unit, you'd have to get in your car and drive to it on hospital grounds. Huge freaking hospital, right? And so I would treat him for his GERD and other clients for that. Uh, that was part of my job, passing out medications, uh, working their individual IDP programs, things like that. And I told him, you're going to probably get a diagnosis of GERD, but we'll keep an eye on it because he's also, we're at a point where being a young man, he doesn't have the insurance that he had. Of course, Kimberly's mom passed away last year. We're coming up on a year on it. She passed away
Yeah.
2 days before Christmas. Did she pass away on the boy's birthday?
No, it was 2 days. before Christmas.
And theirs is 2 days
Yeah.
after, right? Theirs is the
Yeah.
27th.
Is the day after
Right.
Christmas.
And she was their primary caregiver, although that's why
Legal
we,
guardian.
yeah, that's why Kimberly and I are here. And at one time, our daughter, we were a household of 6 people, and we were here to help mom. She passed away at 93, right? So when she took them on, she was in her late 70s. I can tell you, I'm about ready to turn 71 in January. And at 70 years old, I can tell I don't have the energy I once had, right? Um, and one of the reasons that I do a channel talking about rock and roll is I'm not just an old psych nurse. You see, I used to be in a plethora of rock bands. And matter of fact, me being a psych nurse had a lot to do with the band's not really going anywhere beyond, like, playing a 3 to 5 county area. Okay. And I had to be real careful how I booked the band. Yeah, I was the manager too. Uh, because when you're a nurse out at the state hospital system, they had this thing called red dot, blue dot, and you'd have to pull 4 red dots and 4 blue dots every month. Okay. And they couldn't be on the same day. Now, if somebody called in sick on the next shift, and I spent my first 8 years out there on the PM shift, which is from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. And then if somebody calls in on the knock shift, right, and I'm the red dot, I have no choice. I have to stay out there. There's no choice. A lot of young people are complaining about the actual work they have to do. And we see, at least here in America, there's going to be a lot more of a blue collar approach to the job site. And I think it's high time we get to that, right? If you work for somebody and you agree to work for them, they make their needs and their desires known. They tell you what you can and cannot do on the job and what you can and cannot do off the job if you start talking about the job. Now, there was a time in America when everybody had common sense, and they go, "Well, yeah, I work for PG&E. I'm not." And of course, back in the day, we didn't have streams, we didn't have YouTube, right? But the internet was alive and well at that time, and it wasn't uncommon for jobs even back then to find out some guys on some Discord typing away what an evil entity PG&E is, even though they're right. PG&E is our Pacific Gas and Electric Company. For those are not familiar with California, it's the biggest outlet and the biggest disappointment ever known to man. But if you work for them, it's probably a good thing not to be, dissing PG&E, because they're going to go, look, you don't meet our standards, and they're going to let you go every time, and they have a right to do that. So yeah, all of this going on with Isaiah, we're going back and forth and everything. By the time that, of course, you got to understand, this is a young man, and he's going, it's almost like my heart when I swallow, right? Which is kind of a symptom of GERD. That's when he told me that. That's why I said, well, you don't take my word for granted, because I haven't examined you. I don't know anything about you, other than the fact that you called Kimberly. I knew he was sick, but I didn't know he was having the trouble he was having, right? He hadn't eaten in days. And so when he got out there, I said, yeah, you're going to probably get this GERD thing. And I'll get to rock and roll here in a minute.
And you
this
were
is,
right. You were right.
And I was right.
You
Yeah.
were right.
Well, 25 years in the medical industry ought to be worth something. So anyway, we're talking about, tonight, geezer rockers. But let me finish this list. Damn it! Of course, the Four Horsemen. I stopped at the Four Horsemen. He gave us $10. Deuces Wild, who came in while I was reading this, gave us $2. He gave us more than that tonight. Thank you so much, Deuce. Just the Facts Man. He's okay. There's 2 channels I'm connected with. I'd like to make a network. I'd like to start off. I would love to get a network of about 5 channels that this would be the hub of, but that's down the road. Right now, Royce's channel, The Four Horsemen, is the hub that Dan and I, that's just the facts man, meet up together. Yeah, just to let you know, when you see Dan and I up there, some of you may have only been watching Royce a couple of years, and maybe Dan looks like a new face. He's not. All right. Way before I ever started showing up on Royce's stream, he was kind of Royce's right hand man. We call it second chair over there. And both, I didn't know how to stream. I didn't know how to behave on a stream. I still don't. That's obvious. Uh, and so they took me in. I learned a whole lot from these gentlemen. You got some of you are going, yeah, Michael, you've got like 46,000, and that's a lot bigger than their channels. I don't give a shit about channel size. I judge a man by his character and by what um, I can get from him, and if he's willing to get anything from me, a free dialogue, a free exchange of ideas. I'm attracted to that kind of guy, right? Now, some of you out there going, oh, he's attracted to guys. Yeah, I am. His friends, guy friends. Yeah, of course I am, you know? And I have a deep love for these two guys. And I've never shook one of their hands. I've never been able to sit back and go, hey, man, how you doing? Because we've never actually met. Matter of fact, it was Dan who, in my last stream, said we got to get together. I think he's thinking maybe over at Royce's. I could make a drive like that for a special occasion, and maybe down the line, who knows? And Dan was saying we all ought to stream together. I think that'd be a terrific idea. But I'd like to get a network of like-minded channels. I see Vance in the comments. Vance is, I've already kind of started an unofficial network, right? But the people I want, they have responsibilities to other streams. Vance is one of those. And I have nothing but respect for Vance for having that. He streams quite a bit with Patrick Buchanan, a couple of times a night. Uh, and he's told us, he's come up on Royce's occasionally, right? But he just doesn't have the time. He would be a person, he's right there with Dan and Royce as far as me having a lot of respect for. Now, Vance is a bit younger than me. I see that. $5.
Super thanks.
Amazing.
Robin
Can you read that, baby, and read it loud?
Sure will. She says, I'm pretty sure I used to see those earlier streams. You would switch to Royce's. Oh, Royce's channel. Sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rock, and for the last couple of years, I've been a panelist most of the time on Royce's, a co-panelist in one shape or another for the last 3 and almost half years. We're working on our 4th year over there. Now, before that year 4 was Dan. Now, Dan and I, for part of the time, Dan and I were both on at the same time for a good year and a half. So there was some overlap. And then Dan had things happen in his life. He had to back off. And Dan's been through the mill. Dan's been through the mill. I wouldn't wish what Dan's been through on the trolls I opened up with. All right. I don't wish ill will on any single human being, but I'll speak against them if they're assholes, right? Dan is no asshole. Dan has been through the mill. He really has. And he needed to take some time off. And so that kind of bumped me up to second chair. Before that, I was third chair at best, often fourth and fifth chair. All right. When I first got up there, I think it was Lou Mars who was like third chair. On nights he wasn't being second chair, right? Sorry, Lou, but that's the truth, buddy. Um, and so, as people started finding out that like Lou all of a sudden started a brand new band, Pink House Band. I'm subscribed to you, Lou, if you're watching. Still to this day, have a lot of respect. Lou and I never agreed on much. but I respected everything out of his mouth. And he's a guy. Lou actually got to the touring circuit, right? So he's toured with big name bands and things like that. But he was like he went one level than I was able to go. And mainly because Lou is a single man and it's easier to go ahead and tighten that belt in times of need and stay being a musician. But when you're a family man, your hopes and dreams are secondary to theirs. And that's just plain and simple. But then when Dan backed out, I kind of inherited second chair. And for about a year and a half, I guess I was up. It was Royce and I it was Royce's show, but I was helping handling the load over there. And we'd have people like Novus Nick up. We'd have people like Chris Elliott up. Both people I love. I love these guys. You know, uh, I think they're just wonderful guys. Nick and I go hand in tooth every once in a while, but once again, so did Lou Mars and I, and I never hated Lou for that or thought anything ill will of him or anything like that. And I don't think Lou ever thought anything of me. We just disagree. Oh, Michael, you are so wrong. Oh, am I now, Lou? We go through that. And, Nick and I occasionally will go through that. But I think Nick and I agree on more than we disagree on, right? And Nick's like me; he's a contrarian. So if he hears me say something, he'll call me on it in the moment. So far, I've survived his barrage, right? Because pretty much I speak the truth. I don't make up facts or make up lists on the spot, and then 6 months later. I try my best to be as consistent as possible in my review of records, my review of music, my review of bands, my review of old geezers who think they're bands. All right. So right after Dan gave us a $10 super thanks, Michael Boswell gave us a $2 super thanks. Thank you, Michael. Rockin' Robin Bird, who was just in, gave us a $2 super thanks. Deuces Wild, who was just in, gave us a $20 super thanks. And Just the Facts Man doubled up and gave us another $10 super thanks, as did my good buddy Royce. All right. So when you see me over at Royce's, all the pressure is on Royce. It's not on me, right?
Oh
Tonight,
my
if I get
goodness,
up there,
hon.
oh my goodness,
Michael Boswell again.
can you read that for me,
I
baby?
sure will.
Thank you, Michael.
He says, disagreeing as long as you're respectful is okay.
Amen.
And you know what? That that's the beauty of having conversation. It's not that everybody will agree with you. It's sharing.
That's
It's
right.
sharing and understanding other perspectives.
All right. See what I mean?
Respectfully, like Michael says.
I concur with everything Kimberly just said. 110%. That's what I mean. A lot of Kimberly, we don't agree on everything. All
No.
right. At all. And we go tooth and nail sometimes, right? We're not the perfect couple, right?
No such thing.
No such thing. That's right. And there are times when we don't want to have to do with another day with each other, you know? And there are times, but here's the deal: when it comes down to what our basic beliefs are, the basic beliefs, and even some of those diverge. I found somebody that believes basically the same things that I believe in. All right. I'm just going to say it. If this offends anybody, I'm sorry. But I'm a Christian man, despite my language. I'm a cussing Christian. And I'm not proud of my language. I'm a work in progress. I make all kinds of mistakes sometimes in my prayers. My mistakes are such that I feel like they bar me from prayer. And then I have to remind myself that's exactly what somebody's hoping you'll think, right? And so I have the problem is when you ask for forgiveness of your sins, your shortcomings, uh, is that you know you have to lay yourself bare, right? And so, and for those of you who don't believe in God, that's fine. That's not what this channel is about. That's just my personal opinion. And each and every one of you, if say you're an atheist right now and you want to say something regarding, since I brought it up, regarding your belief system, go right ahead. We're not going to ban your comment or anything. Look, it's just two human beings that believe different things about life. Okay. And so my belief system is based on, and my old time viewers, this is probably not any news to them. I think I've actually brought up before I'm Christian once,
Wow.
a long time ago, but it was real quick. Uh, and it doesn't matter. See, I don't belong to an organized religion right now. I think true Christians are found in the congregations of a lot of religions right now. Okay. But I don't see one particular congregation as representing true Christianity. And as a matter of fact, it's because of that that a lot of people find it easy uh, to, stay away from religion in general. Because anytime you get in with a group of people, some shithead's going to fuck it up, right? And I've been in congregations where some shithead fucked it up. And that's when I walk. You know, you either walk your talk, and I don't want to hear about anything coming out of your mouth that is of a political nature. I believe in separation of church and state. I don't believe in religions backing up anybody's play.
Hey, hon.
Okay? Yeah.
DJ Reed says, I appreciate your honesty, Michael, very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And
Yes.
it's my truth. Okay? And I've said this a million times. A lot of you watching me right now have a different truth. That's okay. I'm just speaking from my heart right now. This is what works for me. What works for you, I trust you. And I hope you would trust me to make decisions for my life. Because guess what? There's not a damn thing you can do to stop it. And there's not a damn thing I can do to change your mind, except to have conversations around a conversational theme that we can all agree on. And like I said, we talk rock and roll 99% of the time on this channel. This stream is an anomaly for me. I've had streams that have started like this, and then I get right back on track. And I'm going to try and do that here in a minute. What time is it, babe?
It's 6:45.
6:45?
Yes.
Wait a minute, 6:45.
Yeah.
June 5:45.
I'm sorry, 5:40.
I was going to say, well, Royce started 15 minutes ago. All right, I got a little time here. Besides, I have to do all this from memory and everything. But let's make this clear from now on this channel. All of us believe in different things. All right. All of us should respect one another for our different beliefs. But if your belief starts telling you to tell other people how wrong they are in their beliefs and to hammer it down their throats, you've lost me. You've lost me. And if I'm physically in that conversation, I'll be the first one to call you out on it. All right. You can't win that kind of argument. Believe me. Some debaters out there going, oh, well, I can't. Royce was telling me about this Andrew guy that the Ragged Tomato has on. I guess he's a big YouTuber and he's a big debater. Fuck him. I don't give a shit. What was his name? Andrew what, Royce? But anyway, this isn't one of those channels where you get a bunch of tools up on the stream and they all sit there and try and pretend how smart they are. You know, half of them don't know shit about real life, right? It all comes from what is that called? The community that men don't date women because there's no point in it.
Oh, the incels?
The incels, yeah, it all came from that. And of course, the Ragged Tomato, never trust a bartender chick. Good God. Uh, I didn't mention any names, okay? But then she turns it over, and now they're answering the big questions. I've just blocked her channel from my device. I don't even want to see the shit. But Royce got into a tussle with this guy, and then evidently Rachel uh, found great delight on her next stream to say how Andrew, whatever his dick name is, really took it to Royce, right? Now, you guys know how nice Royce is, and if
Oh,
Royce
Royce
says
is a
something,
sweetie.
this isn't the first time Rachel's done that. She fucking started cussing him out one day for no fucking reason. She didn't even know what she was talking about, right? So anyway, as far as all there seems to be an ilk, and this is on the left and the right, by the way, okay, that seem to think that you can prove the decisions that you have made in your life as being the correct way, and then they all go around. What a waste of fucking time! This Andrew dick isn't changing anybody's minds, right? I don't care how fucking big his channel is. I don't care how big the rocker is, which leads into what the stream is about tonight. Everybody's going, finally, fuck, dude, man, what's wrong with you? Did I get everybody? The Four Horsemen came in with another $10 super
Oh
thanks.
my goodness, really?
Well, Royce did. I just didn't shout him out from last week.
Okay.
All right, guys. So here's what it gets down to. Tonight's stream, like I said, was entitled, and I wish I had titled it a little more buff. Rockers, you just don't have it anymore. An inconvenient truth. Okay. What is it with fucking Beatle fans? All right, I'm as big a Beatle fan as anybody else. Hey, isn't that how he started this thing? Yeah, it was. But I got waylaid. I've been a Beatle fan since Generation One, buying everything, listening to every album, every special effect, every reading everything up on them. On what? Yeah, I love the Beatles. My favorite single artist of all time is Paul McCartney. Now, at one time it was John and Paul kind of shared that spot as a young man until one night on Monday Night Football, I was over at a friend's house, and Howard Cosell told me that John Lennon was murdered by a dirty, filthy dog that we are still feeding and housing. And so from that point on, for several years, I was still equally the John and Paul fan. But a decade later, Paul had enough stuff out that was away from John Lennon's life that and he continued to make masterpieces after John died. I think Tug of War is a masterpiece. I think I always forget to do this one. Flaming Pie is the one. Every time I mention Paul's masterpieces, I always forget Flaming Pie. Flaming Pie is some of the best stuff any Beatles ever put out, right? And the same thing with Memory Almost Full. But when was Memory Almost Full released? Wasn't that 2007, 2006, 2008, 2009, somewhere around there, right? You guys can let me know. And it's magnificent. Matter of fact, what I liked about it was this was years after Linda had passed away. And so much of the album, you could swear you hear her vocals in it. There are some cuts on it that sound so Wings like, and some cuts that sound like the new Paul McCartney. Now, but he's also put out some turkeys. Uh, I wouldn't give you 2 cents for Driving Rain. And with the exception of maybe 4 songs off of Chaos and Creation, I know all of you got a hard on for that. I don't know why. I don't think it's a very good album. It's boring as shit. Egypt Station, I tried. I tried to like it. Again, 3 or 4 cuts that are great, and the rest of it is eh. And McCartney 3, I tried again, right? And if he had his voice, I might like that better, but he doesn't, which gets to my point. All right, so we're talking about rockers who just don't have it anymore, right? I swear to God, I'm so tired of these artists. Rock, let's get one thing straight here. We've been kind of dancing around this. And I think it's time that everybody has a good wake up call here. Rock, as the predominant music that is listened to by most people, known as the music audience, it's dead, folks. It's been dead. Okay. I don't see it coming back. Early videos I did on the channel, I was a proponent for that. Yeah, we could get a comeback, but year after year, and you guys have known, I've talked about the problems with the prices of tickets, McCartney, uh, the lack of a great show, McCartney. We'll talk about that in a minute. Uh, Using backing tracks, right? Kiss. Uh, Motley Drool, things like that. The Eagles, right? We've talked about the dreaded Sphere, and we're going to be talking about Brian May tonight. Actually, let's bring him up while I'm at, and I'll get to McCartney here in a minute. Okay, so I brought up things that are killing rock.
Michael Boswell.
Hey, Michael,
With another super
please read because he usually sends these in a timely fashion.
He says, complain McCartney, listen to David Lee Roth. Michael, you're funny.
Yeah, you are, Michael. Yeah, he's lost his voice too.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of people have, and we're going to talk about that. But who was I talking about just now? Oh, Brian May, Queen. Uh, Ever since Freddie Mercury died, here's the last time I ever bought anything from Queen. Is when they got Paul Rogers to sing lead, and they did this. What was it? A triple CD or was that a double CD? Some of you guys could tell. And I bought it. This is back. I remember on Middle Lincoln Road, man.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I played the shit out of that. And I kept telling you, and she liked to listen to it because she likes Queen, some of their hits, but she's not a major fan of everything.
I like some of their music.
Right.
Yeah.
But Paul Rogers, if he's singing, she wants to be there. It's one of her favorite vocalists and one of mine. And we played the hell out of that for about a month and a half, maybe 2 months, maybe. And then it went down to like every weekend after 6 months. And I never opened it again because it's a best of live album with him singing Freddie's songs. And I finally just made the point way before they got their latest, what is that? America's Got a Toilet singer in there to do it. What is his name? Adam Lambert, right?
Yeah.
Got in there way before he showed up. I gave up on Queen. All right. Now, if Queen was really Queen, then and Freddie's gone, then you get somebody who is best to replace him, not a guy that can replicate his vocals for your traveling jukebox show. You had to get a vocalist that could do that and could write like him, right? And or at least write half as good as him. And then Brian, because I've always thought Brian May was a great songwriter in his own right. And then Brian could step up to the plate. But then they had John Deacon leave. And John just wanted to retire. You know, Freddie was gone. He lost a, you know, that hit him hard, and he doesn't have anything to do with Queen. So the Queen that we're talking about here is two guys, right? We got Roger Meadows, Roger on drums. I'm going to think of his name here in a second, and Brian May on guitar, and everybody else is a replacement up on stage, right? And they haven't done anything. I've read articles where Brian has sworn to God, yeah, we're going to get together. We talked about writing some stuff, and it never occurs. They're a traveling jukebox circuit, and there's only two of them left, right? And Brian, who has suffered some medical issues recently, didn't he have a heart attack or was that a stroke? I'm trying to remember. And so, you know, them old days of out there traveling the roads kind of hard for him. And so, where's the first place he thinks about talking about in his latest interview that I cannot read for you tonight? The Las Vegas Sphere, of course. That's where everybody's monkey's uncle is showing up over there, right? And my problem with the Sphere is not what the Sphere offers physically, although for me it offers nothing. But I could understand why some of you like it. Special effects, a descending chandelier, uh, what, a semi three-dimensional version of the Wizard of Oz. Everything what a Metroplex ought to offer. That's what it is. It's a big theater. Inside, it's an inside out TV, is what I call it. Actually, but they have a TV on the outside of it. And the problem with this is these guys, they go and they hang out in LA for however long their residency is. Residency. Rockers, their residencies used to be when they got off tour, they had a residency with their families. Okay. So they're out there, they're not writing new material, they're playing golf in the afternoon. Uh, they're out there, they got a show that night, right? But they're not even doing a hell of a lot of sound checks. Once they got it all dialed in, they don't even have to worry about that. So they're not swimming by the pool or just sitting in their rocking chair contemplating their navels.
The Four Horsemen just came in with a
Oh, brother, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Keep me well. Okay, I've got to wrap this up quick, folks. So anyway, we've got Brian May out there ready for a residency. No, thank you. Don't want it. I'm tired of it. Then you've got Kevin Cronin and REO Speedwagon. Kimberly's a bigger fan of them than I am. I never turned off their hits. Well, I would switch the station after the second chorus, usually. They just didn't do it much for me. I didn't care for it. It might have to do with a friend I had in high school, and his name was Jim, and he became a big fan of REO Speedwagon, and then he got busted for a lot of distasteful things, and maybe I just, him being, it could be that. Right. I'm not saying they weren't a great band in their day, but once their guitarist was gone, that was it for me. Any interest, right? What's that?
Can I read Royce?
Yeah, very quickly, baby, because I got to sew this up.
Okay, he said, love the stream. Heading over to my channel now to get ready for his stream.
Yeah, and everybody, please join Royce, whether I show up there or not. I'm going to make an attempt, but we're still working on the kinks out on getting my picture to be this way instead of this way, right? So here it is. And we'll cover more of this on my next stream because I didn't do this justice. But we've got Paul McCartney, and I did a short where I said the great Beatle lie, right? Because the Beatles said, due to popular demand, we are now going to make Anthology 4 released on its own. In other words, you don't have to buy anthologies 1, 2, and 3 to get 4 like you did at the beginning. And they said that was by popular demand. And in that video and in that short that the video is based, or that the short, in the video that the short's based on, and the short, I should say, I bring up and I say, that's bullshit because popular demand was Rubber Soul. And you haven't given us that. See, they reinvent the language to sell us yet another pile of shit offering, which is nothing more than a compilation, right? I was so disappointed that I basically wound up buying a compilation by Led Zeppelin, a couple of compilations. I do want to say this. Just pick this up, baby. All right. Yeah. Now, this is a grail of mine. Okay. This is a grail of mine. I told you there's a story behind this album. This is Jojo Gunn by Jojo Gunn. What an album cover. Look at that hot rod. Man, muscle car, rock band, couldn't go wrong. And of course, on the inside, and I know this is inside out or backwards view here, and I'm sorry for that, folks. But you got a picture of the band. There's Jay Ferguson right there, Thunder Island fame, right? And I found this album for a dime at a garage, not at a garage sale, at a flea market, right? And I go, a dime, I'll pick it up. I took it home just because of the cover. The cover turned me on. And I took it home, and I couldn't believe this band wasn't bigger, right? And I did a breakdown on my last stream why I think this album is so good. And one of my desert island picks, and one of the things I said about this album is that the actual music, there it is, Asylum Records, right? I had to order this from the UK to get this. And by the way, see that white around the edge of the cover, all the way around? You see it here too, right? It's like in a frame. My old American version did not have that. The white didn't exist. It just went. The orange bled to the side, right? But I'm so happy to have this, and it cost me $42. Can you believe it? But and with what I had to pay for shipping, I did the slowest shipping because I've heard the album a zillion times, and it was worth it. Um, let's see, what year did JoJo Gun come? In this lighting, I wouldn't be able to read it. I'll do some more research on the whole recording of the album, but I did bring out the importance of the album. That everything on the album, there's no post production, there's no producer coming in and going, "Well, you guys have a hole in the arrangement here. It sounds a little bare here. It would be nice if we added some keyboards or an orchestra to fill." None of that. It's like you're in the room with the band and they're just playing. Everything is what could be played live. All right. Very little double tracking on this album. Very little. Maybe for some guitar harmonies might have been overdubbed. I'd have to listen to it again. I can't wait to do it. That's going to be what I'll be listening to this week, a whole lot. But here's the thing for you guys: if you're here and you're watching this later and you're watching this wrap up, let me know what are some of your Grail albums, right? I mean, I've got 140 Grail albums out there, but I mean, an album that really, for some special reason, maybe it's the way you bought it, maybe like me, or maybe it's the time that you bought it, or maybe it was a gift and someone bought it and you go, I couldn't live without, that kind of thing. What are some of your favorite Grails? All right, so let me, Paul McCartney, everybody's making a big stink about Paul McCartney doing Help and these Beatle channels, well, I don't know if he has a right to do that. Well, first of all, Paul helped write that song. John had most of it written, the vast majority of it written, and Paul remembers he came in and helped kind of finish it off. And even if all he did was make those phrases, and now I find, I tell you, well, that was Paul's idea. That's part of writing a song, or at least arranging it. But here's my whole response to Paul McCartney doing Help on his tour. First of all, I think he's doing it because his tickets aren't selling. We've covered that on this channel. Plain and simple, he's having trouble selling tickets, and so late date he adds Help. Okay, again, I have no problem with that. I have no problem with him playing Help. Even if you think John wrote the whole damn thing and Paul had very little to do with it, and he shouldn't be covering John's, even though he's covered several of John's, including Help in the past, uh, then and he doesn't have a right to do that. Paul can play whatever fucking song he wants to play, whether he wrote it or not.
Are you there? Just came in with a
Thank you so much. What did he say? Anything?
He says, "Peace, everyone."
Peace, everyone. Oh, yeah, we could use a lot of that.
Do you too? Are you there?
Thanks for taking the steam out of my fire, brother. Thank you, RU. Wonderful. He's been in so much lately. But as long as the songwriter or whoever the freak owns the song is getting paid, he could do a Bruce Springsteen song. Hell, he could do Billy, Don't Be a Hero. Come back and make me your wife, for all I care. All right. But he is officially one of the songwriters to that, Lennon and McCartney. So people need to get off that. The big argument to me, and then we'll cover these other bands, and this is how I'm going to shut off this stream. The big argument about Paul McCartney doing Help is he sounds shitty. He's croaking that song out. He's ruining that song. His voice is shot. Now, I'm sorry. When I did that short in that video I talked about, I got responses from some of you going, hateful, disrespectful. Really? I'm a consumer, baby.
Yeah.
All right? And I'm not a Beatle fan that'll just take anything they shove down my throat. as I've proven. And then another person saying, we ought to just be grateful that at 83 and 85 that Paul and Ringo can get us anything. I'm not that grateful. Sorry.
Huh?
Never have been.
Dragon says 1972 for JoJo Gunn.
Thank you. Brad said that?
No, Divining Dragon.
Oh, Christian did. Okay, good. 72. I bought it in 1975. I know it's the first year I got married to my first wife. There was a whole slew of them. Okay. But my first wife and I, we had just moved into a real nice home, and we're setting up. I was in a band called Steelhead, and we had the room to have the band practicing there. We made leaded glass terrariums. You know, it was the day, man. And we'd take them to the flea market and sell them, and then I'd look for records and usually buy what we'd make on records. And I found the JoJo gun for a dime of all things, right? That's why it's such a. And here I am, what, 50 years later? 75, 85, 95, 05, 15, 25. 50 years later, and I pay 50 bucks plus for the damn thing, right? The dime was the better deal. But here's the problem with McCartney, and then I'm going to sign off because I got to run over to Royce and see if I can get up there. And I'm sorry for the discombobulation of this stream, folks. I really am. I'll try to do better in the future. But you know me, I'll fuck it up somehow. But is that he sounds crappy. And I'm tired of bringing up that maybe Paul needs to change and sing what he can and leave things like Hey Jude, which he rapes every time he tries to sing it. You know, I'm sorry. I remember another guy that was touring well into his 80s, certainly his late 70s. The guy, Great Balls of Fire. Who am I talking about, baby? I always forget his name. Great Balls of Fire.
Oh.
Anyway, you guys know who I'm talking about. And he was out touring and doing shows.
Bopper.
Huh?
The Big Bopper?
No, not the Big Bopper. Big Bopper is Hello, Shelley,
Oh, that's right.
Chantilly Lace with a ponytail.
Jerry Lee Lewis?
Jerry Lee Lewis, thank you very much.
That's Jersey Devil.
Right. And he was out, he was old and decrepit, and he'd get on and he'd go, "Blee, blee, blee, blee," and he barely could turn, and it was an embarrassment, right? And Paul's up there squeaking. I'm sorry. He's got all his chops musician wise going. He can't handle it anymore. And I can't imagine. He's got an album coming out next year. Regarding his voice and everything, I can't imagine I'm going to be happy with it. All right. But it's time to procure this, to take this classic rock that we know, put it in its library, and start pushing the greatness of the art form. If new bands come along and add to that, I'm more than happy to do so. But I don't see a whole lot of new ones adding anything more than what we've already gotten, other than a handful of newer bands that I've mentioned before. All right, guys, I'm so sorry. I got to get off. What time is it now? 6:10. I'm not even going to have time to get up properly on Royce. All right, folks. Love each and every one of you. I'll explain a whole lot more. Wednesdays, I have more time to deal with this. I appreciate you all doing. I'm sorry I'm in such a foul mood, but here's one thing you get from me. If I'm in a good mood, I'm up here smiling all the time. I'm in a real good mood. All right. That's me. And if I'm not in a good mood and it's Sunday and I have to stream, it's either delete that stream or get up here and give you what I am. And this is what I am. And I'm dead set against the assholes in the vinyl community that share screens with trolls. Rachel. All right. We'll talk to you guys on my next stream, Sundays and Wednesdays at 5 p.m. PST, always. That's Pacific Standard Time. Adjust your local times accordingly. And now I got to rush over and see if I can get up on screen for Royce. All right, guys. See you on Wednesday.